Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we dive into Destiny Disrupted by Tamim Ansary, a compelling narrative that offers a history of the world from an Islamic perspective. This intriguing work spans from before the advent of Muhammad and Islam in the 7th century CE, traversing through the golden ages of Muslim states, scholars, and leaders, to the decline of the Islamic empires in the 19th and 20th centuries. Tamim Ansary, a prolific writer with contributions to history, textbooks, and columns on encarta.com, as well as several essays and commentaries in prominent publications, uses his profound knowledge to unveil a narrative often unfamiliar to Western audiences. In Destiny Disrupted, readers are invited on an epic journey through time, exploring the rich tapestry of Islamic civilization, its contributions to science, art, and culture, and its interactions with other cultures and religions. This book is particularly suited for historians, students of religion, and anyone keen to understand the Islamic perspective on global history. It also serves as an eye-opening read for Westerners curious about the nuanced and complex history of Islamic culture and religion. Through Ansary's engaging storytelling and deep insights, Destiny Disrupted presents a fascinating exploration of world history, challenging and enriching readers' understanding of the past and its impact on the present and future. Destiny Disrupted: A History of the World Through Islamic Eyes. Introduction. Discover the world through Islamic eyes, a journey through time. Imagine embarking on a journey through time, one that takes you back through centuries of rich history, untold stories, and pivotal moments that have shaped the world as we know it today. Now, imagine seeing all of this through a lens that's often overlooked or misunderstood: the Islamic perspective. It's a voyage that not only enlightens but challenges our understanding of history, conflicts, and civilizations. Our modern world is a tapestry of diverse cultures, beliefs, and historical events. Yet often, our comprehension of this complexity is skewed by a narrow focus on either Western or Eastern narratives. However, to truly grasp the essence of today's global dynamics and the root of many conflicts, we need to broaden our horizons. This is where taking a walk through history with an Islamic tour guide becomes not just enlightening but essential. Through this immersive dive into the past, we'll explore the zeniths of Muslim empires, those great epochs when Islamic civilization was the beacon of knowledge, art, science, and commerce. These civilizations didn't just contribute to their era, they were central to the march of human progress, shaping the world in ways that reverberate to this day. Our journey will unfold the origins of Islam, revealing how a religion born in the deserts of Arabia swiftly grew into a formidable spiritual and cultural force. We'll walk the vast expanses that the great Muslim empires once spanned, from the bustling streets of Baghdad to the majestic courts of Cordoba, showcasing the unmatched reach of Islamic civilization. Moreover, we'll delve into how a seemingly mundane quest for spices became one of the driving forces behind European exploration, reshaping the world's geopolitical landscape and setting the stage for the Industrial Revolution. This pivotal moment, however, also marked the beginning of a gradual decline for many Muslim societies as they struggled to navigate the rapidly changing waters of industrialization and colonial expansion. Through a series of enlightening insights, we'll come to understand not just the triumphs of the Islamic world, but also the challenges it faced and continues to face. This journey isn't just about revisiting the past. It's about understanding the threads that connect history to the present and the intricate interplay of cultures and civilizations that make up our world. Embark on this historic voyage and uncover the rich tapestry of Islamic civilization, a journey that promises not just knowledge, but a deeper comprehension of the world from a perspective that's both enlightening and profoundly necessary. Part 1. The Birth of Islam. Navigating the Nexus of Ancient Civilizations. Ever pondered what makes the Middle East so middle? Let's embark on a journey to the cradle of civilization to find out. Envision the world as it stood thousands of years ago. To the west, the emerging Western civilization hugged the shores of the Mediterranean, while to the east, the civilizations around present-day China flourished. Sandwiched between these behemoths lay a crucial corridor of commerce and culture, the Middle World. This Middle World stretched from the waters of the Indus River, cradling India and Pakistan, to the historic city of Istanbul, perched between the Black and Aegean seas. Here, nestled between the contrasting civilizations of East and West, lay the fertile grounds for a series of empires that would shape the course of history. At the heart of this world was Mesopotamia, straddling the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in what we now call Iraq. It's here, over 5,500 years ago, that the Sumerians laid the foundations of the first advanced civilization, gifting the world with the invention of writing and the wheel. The tapestry of the Middle World was woven with the rise and fall of empires, from the Akkadians to the Babylonians, and from the Persian Empire to the conquest of Alexander the Great. Each of these civilizations contributed a stitch to the rich mosaic that preceded the arrival of a transformative force, Islam. In the bustling trade center of Mecca, amidst a society of opulent Arab merchants and pagan rituals, Muhammad was born around 570 CE. Raised an orphan, Muhammad's early life was marked by poverty and the stark inequalities of Meccan society. Amidst this setting, a profound experience would alter the course of history. Secluded in the mountains for meditation, Muhammad encountered the angel Gabriel, who delivered a directive that would echo through the ages. Recite. This divine encounter spurred Muhammad to challenge the status quo, advocating for monotheism in a polytheistic society. His message was revolutionary, a call to end excesses and uplift the impoverished, setting the stage for the birth of Islam. It was a message that would not only transform Mecca, but resonate across the Middle World, ushering an era of unparalleled civilizational growth and intellectual flourishing. Thus began the journey of Islam, nestled in a world bridging East and West, amidst the remnants of empires past. It was a genesis that would shape the destiny of millions and leave an indelible mark on the fabric of human history. Part 2. From Mecca's streets to Islam's spread, Muhammad and the rise of Caliphs. In the bustling trade city of Mecca, Muhammad's call for a monotheistic faith quickly resonated across the community. From a modest circle of close friends and relatives, his following burgeoned into a significant faction. This growing influence was perceived as a threat by the city's affluent pagan merchants, setting the stage for conflict and igniting the sparks of a transformative era. As tensions escalated, the threat to Muhammad's life became palpable. Driven by necessity, he embarked on a pivotal journey to Medina, a momentous migration known as the Hijrah. This critical juncture marked the dawn of the Muslim community, or Ummah, and serves as a cornerstone in Islamic chronology, dividing history into periods before and after the Hijrah. In Medina, the roots of Islam deepened, and its branches spread as more Arabs embraced the faith. The establishment of the Ummah catalyzed a series of clashes with the merchants of Mecca. Through resilience and 3 major battles, the Muslims ultimately prevailed. The conversion of the Quraysh tribe to Islam facilitated Muhammad's triumphant return to Mecca, heralding the Kaaba as the sacred center of Islamic worship. In 632 CE, the unexpected demise of Muhammad left a vacuum within the burgeoning Islamic community. The mantle of leadership fell to the rightly guided caliphs, 4 deputies who would shepherd the Ummah through its nascent stages of development and expansion. First among them was Abu Bakr, a close companion of Muhammad, who navigated the community through its early trials until his passing in 634 CE. Following him was Omar, whose tenure from 634 to 644 CE was marked by significant territorial expansions and the strengthening of Islamic governance, elevating the empire to a stature rivaling that of Rome. However, the reigns of the subsequent caliphs, Othman and Ali, were troubled by internal strife and governance challenges. Othman's rule, 644-656 CE, was marred by corruption among his governors, culminating in his assassination by a disgruntled mob. Ali, Muhammad's son-in-law, ascended as the fourth caliph, facing a community fraught with discord. His 4-year rule was a period of turmoil, encapsulating the complex dynamics and challenges confronting the early Muslim community as it strove to consolidate its faith and societal structure. Through these formative years, the legacy of Muhammad and the leadership of the caliphs laid the groundwork for an empire that would profoundly shape the course of history, leaving an indelible mark on the civilizations it touched and the narrative of Islam's rise. Part 3. Dynasties and Divergence. The Umayyads and Abbasids in Islamic history. The assassination of Othman and the ensuing power struggle marked a pivotal chapter in Islamic history, a time of turmoil that led to the emergence of two influential dynasties, the Umayyads and the Abbasids. Othman's death ignited a contentious battle for leadership between Ali, revered as the fourth caliph, and Muawiyah, the ambitious governor of Syria and Egypt. Despite Ali's initial claim to the caliphate, it was Muawiyah who emerged victorious, largely thanks to his political acumen and military support. His ascent to power heralded the rise of the Umayyad dynasty, an era that would stretch from 661 to 750 CE, embedding the aristocratic Umayyads firmly at the helm of the Islamic Empire. The Umayyad dynasty, descending from an elite clan within the Quraysh tribe, saw its power solidify under Muawiyah's leadership. But the transition of power from Muawiyah to his son Yazid brewed a new storm, especially among the followers of Ali, who viewed their lineage as the legitimate rulers. The refusal of Ali's second son Hussein to bend the knee to Yazid led to a tragic confrontation where Hussein was killed, a moment that not only deepened the schism but also birthed Shi'ism, a movement holding that divine guidance was conferred through Muhammad's descendants. The Shi'i, led by the Imam, the embodiment of God's light. The rule of the Umayyads, characterized by harsh crackdowns on dissent and lavish lifestyles, eventually stirred widespread discontent. It was in this climate of unrest that the Abbasids, claiming descent from Muhammad's uncle, seized control. Their ascent in 750 CE signaled the dawn of the Abbasid dynasty, which would preside over the Islamic world until the mid-10th century. Under Abbasid rule, the capital relocated to the resplendent city of Baghdad, heralding an era of prosperity and cultural renaissance known as the Golden Age of Islam. During the Abbasid age, Islamic thought and scholarship flourished with unparalleled vigor. It was a period marked by the meticulous compilation and elaboration of Islamic doctrines, a task that not only codified the religion's teachings, but also facilitated the spread of Islamic science, philosophy, and culture far beyond the empire's borders. Despite the eventual decline of Abbasid political dominance, their legacy persisted in various forms across the Islamic world, leaving a lasting imprint on the spiritual and intellectual landscape of Islam. The tales of these dynasties are not just chronicles of power and politics, they are narratives of cultural evolution, spiritual debate, and the enduring quest for knowledge that shaped the Islamic civilization and its contributions to the global tapestry of human history. Part 4. The Loom of Knowledge, Weaving Together. Islamic Faith, Philosophy, and Mysticism. In the rich tapestry of Islamic heritage, the foundational threads were spun by the Prophet Muhammad, who outlined 5 pillars vital to the Muslim faith. These pillars, Shahada, faith, Salah, prayer, Zakat, charity, Sawm, fasting during Ramadan, and Hajj, pilgrimage to Mecca, serve as the bedrock of Islamic practice. Yet, beyond these concrete duties lay a realm of teachings and interpretations that sought to delve deeper into the essence of faith, the universe, and human existence. In the centuries following Muhammad's passing, from 632 to 1111 CE, Islamic scholars embarked on a monumental task to crystallize the core tenets of Islam. These scholars, known as the ulama, sought to distill the divine revelations received by Muhammad into a coherent and unified body of knowledge. Their efforts culminated in the compilation of the Quran, a profound religious text encompassing the recitations and teachings of the Prophet. Complementing the Quran, the Hadith emerged as a vital collection of the Prophet's sayings, advice, and anecdotes, providing further guidance on the application of Islamic principles in daily life. The ulama didn't stop there. They also refined the Sharia, a comprehensive legal and ethical framework guiding Muslims in their religious, social, and personal conduct. Parallel to the endeavors of the ulama, Islamic philosophers embarked on a quest to harmonize faith with reason. Encountering the works of ancient Greek philosophers, they were inspired to apply logical inquiry to the fundamental questions of existence, incorporating these insights into the Islamic worldview. This period of intellectual engagement catalyzed remarkable advancements in mathematics, science, and philosophy, laying down the cornerstones for modern disciplines and enriching the global pool of knowledge. Amidst this intellectual fervor, a distinct strand of Islamic spirituality emerged in the form of Sufism. Dissatisfied with purely rational interpretations of Islam, Sufis sought a more intimate and transcendental experience of divinity, echoing the profound revelations encountered by Muhammad himself. Distinguished by their simple woolen garments, or Sufis pursued the divine through practices such as extended recitations and meditations on the name of Allah, striving to transcend the mundane and connect with the essence of the divine. Together, these diverse yet interconnected realms of scholarship, philosophy, and mysticism wove a complex and vibrant mosaic of Islamic culture. Through their collective efforts, Muslim scholars, philosophers, and mystics enriched the Islamic tradition, crafting a legacy of thought and spirituality that continues to resonate and inspire across cultures and epochs. Part 5. The Tides of Empire, the Fragmentation and Challenges of the Islamic Golden Age. In the annals of history, the rise of the Islamic world stands as a beacon of cultural, scientific, and philosophical achievement. At the helm of this luminous era were the Caliphates, territories ruled by a Muslim Khalifa, exemplified by the prestigious reigns of the Umayyad and Abbasid dynasties. During its zenith in the mid-8th century, the Abbasid Caliphate emerged as the cultural heartland of the known world, a nexus of knowledge and enlightenment stretching from the depths of Spain to the edges of the East. Yet even as it basked in the glory of its golden age, the seeds of division were being sown within the empire's vast expanse. The first cracks appeared on the Western Front, in the Andalusian terrains of Spain, where the city of Cordoba dazzled as a jewel of Europe. In a bold assertion of autonomy, the Spanish Muslims steered Andalusia away from the Abbasid umbrella, cleaving the empire into halves. This trend of fragmentation continued as the 10th century heralded the rise of Cairo, a city that soon rivaled Baghdad in splendor and influence. As history repeated itself, another faction of Muslims in Egypt heralded their break from the caliphate, thus splintering the realm further. The empire's vulnerabilities became further pronounced with the advent of the Seljuk era in the early 11th century. Nomadic Turkish tribes, under the banner of the Seljuk family, carved out an immense dominion that encroached upon the borders of the existing caliphate, introducing a new center of power that rivaled, and at times overshadowed, the Abbasids. As if internal schisms weren't enough, the Islamic world found itself facing external pressures from two formidable fronts: the burgeoning power of the European Crusaders and the cataclysmic onslaught of the Mongol invasion. Initially dismissed by the Muslim world as primitive, the Europeans, spurred on by a reinvigorated Christian faith, launched a series of crusades aimed at reclaiming Jerusalem. Beginning in 1095 with Pope Urban II's call to arms, these crusades exploited the divisions within the Islamic realms, sowing discord and conflict that lasted over 2 centuries. However, the true devastation was wrought by the Mongols' incursion in 1218. Emerging from the Central Asian highlands, this fearsome force decimated cities, extinguished countless lives, and brought the Islamic empires to their knees, a blow from which the once unassailable Caliphate struggled to recover. In this turbulence of empire, as regions splintered and external forces encroached, the Islamic world navigated through its most challenging periods. Yet, despite the fragmentation and turmoil, the legacy of its golden age, a beacon of intellectual, cultural, and scientific enlightenment, continued to illuminate the paths of history, shaping the world in ways that resonate to this day. Part 6. From Ashes to Empires. The Islamic Resurgence meets European Ascendance. The devastating blow dealt by the Mongol invasion plunged the Islamic world into an era of darkness and destruction. Yet, like the mythical phoenix rising from its ashes, the Islamic civilization embarked on a journey of rebirth and resilience, setting the stage for the emergence of three great empires that would redefine its legacy. At the forefront of this resurgence was the Ottoman Empire, which from its inception in 1299 until its dissolution in 1922 stood as a colossal force in Anatolia. Through the strategic conquest of Constantinople, the Ottomans not only secured their dominance over what is now Turkey, but also extended their influence across Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. The Ottoman Empire burgeoned into a crucible of rich, dynamic Muslim culture, renowned for its vibrant society and contributions to art, architecture, and learning. Simultaneously, the Safavid Empire rose to prominence in Persia, modern-day Iran, from 1501 to 1736. This empire, propelled by the fervor of Shi'ism, served as a formidable barrier to Ottoman expansion eastward. The Safavid era marked a golden age of Persian culture around the year 1600, characterized by flourishing industries, breathtaking architecture, and a renaissance in the visual arts. The third jewel in the crown of the Islamic resurgence was the Mughal Empire, founded by Babur in 1526. Stretching across the swathes of modern-day Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and Burma, the Mughal Empire was a testament to the enduring spirit and ingenuity of the Islamic world. It was an era that boasted the architectural marvel of the Taj Mahal, among other cultural and artistic achievements. As these Muslim empires rose to reclaim glory, Europe was undergoing its transformation. The remnants of the Crusades had unwittingly ignited a flame of exploration and discovery among Europeans, with the desire for exotic goods from the East encouraging bold voyages into unknown waters. The journey of Christopher Columbus in 1492, spurred by the quest for new trade routes, inadvertently led to the discovery of the Americas, altering the course of history. Back in Spain, the legacy of the Spanish Muslims played a pivotal role in sparking a renaissance of thought and learning in Europe. The discovery of texts containing Arabic translations of ancient Greek philosophy by the new Christian court introduced a wave of humanism and scientific inquiry that would define the European Enlightenment. At this crossroads of history, as the Islamic world was revitalizing its cultural and political landscapes, Europe's ascent on the global stage was marked by exploration, intellectual revival, and the dawn of a new era. This parallel trajectory of Islamic resurgence and European ascension set the stage for a complex interplay of exchanges, conflicts, and mutual influences that shaped the evolving world order. However, the Islamic world's relative unawareness of these seismic shifts in Europe would soon have profound implications, laying the groundwork for future confrontations and challenges in the centuries to come. Part 7. The Eclipse of Islamic Dominance, a tale of empires, intrigue, and transformation. As the world transitioned into the era spanning from 1500 to 1850 CE, Europe embarked on a quest of exploration and colonization, charting unknown territories and establishing colonial outposts globally. This relentless expansion inevitably encroached upon the Islamic world, setting the stage for the decline of its once magnificent empires. The Ottoman Empire, a beacon of Islamic civilization, found itself particularly vulnerable to the economic disruptions brought by European traders. These traders, flushed with gold from the New World, began to undermine the traditional guild systems that had long sustained the Ottoman economy. The influx of European capital and goods precipitated a sharp decline in local production, fueling inflation and corruption that corroded the empire's societal and governmental structures from within. Parallel struggles unfolded within the Safavid Empire, where internal divisions between Shi'i leadership and Sunni provinces threatened to rend the fabric of the state. European forces, ever opportunistic, exploited these schisms, providing military advice and support to aggravate tensions and render the empire susceptible to external manipulation and control. Meanwhile, the vast expanse of the Mughal Empire was riven by conflict between its Muslim rulers and Hindu kings, leading to fragmentation and internal chaos. Here, too, European colonial representatives from France, the Netherlands, England, and Portugal watched keenly, ready to exploit the instability to extend their dominions and assert their influence over the crumbling empire. By the 18th century, the once unassailable Islamic world lay fragmented, a shadow of its former self, prompting profound introspection among its faithful. The question of what the decline of these great empires signified spiritually loomed large over the Islamic world. The foundational belief of Islam, that God would sustain a righteous Muslim community, appeared to be in jeopardy. It was against this backdrop of spiritual and temporal crisis that Abdul Wahhab called for a radical reformation of Islamic faith and practice, preaching a return to the original values and a rejection of later interpretations deemed to have diluted the purity of Islam. Wahhabism emerged as a clarion call to regeneration. This reformist zeal found fertile ground in Saudi Arabia, where it eventually became the dominant expression of the Islamic faith. This period of transformation and turmoil in the Islamic world, juxtaposed against the rise of European power, reveals a complex narrative of decline, disintegration, and the quest for renewal. It highlights the intricate interplay of political, economic, and spiritual forces that reshaped the global landscape, setting the stage for the modern era's unfolding dramas. Part 8. Revolutionary Waves. Industry, constitutionalism, and nationalism transform the Islamic world. The dusk of the 18th century and the dawn of the 19th heralded a period of profound transformation across the globe. As the Islamic world grappled with its own internal calls for reform, such as the rise of Wahhabism and secular movements spearheaded by figures like Sayyid Ahmad of Aligarh, it found itself simultaneously confronted with three monumental European ideals: industry, constitutionalism, and nationalism. These concepts would dramatically reshape the societal, political, and economic landscapes of the Islamic world. The first of these transformative forces was the Industrial Revolution, which swept through Europe with the promise of progress and modernity. The allure of mechanization and mass production, epitomized by advancements like the steam engine, captivated the imagination, promising efficiency and abundance. Muslims witnessing the proliferation of machine-made goods like inexpensive fabrics and shoes yearned to partake in this industrial bounty. However, the societal structure of the Islamic world, particularly the traditional gender roles that saw women's labor confined to the domestic sphere, posed significant challenges to adopting the factory model wholesale. Despite these challenges, there was a fervent desire within the Islamic world not to be left behind in the march towards modernization. This led to various reform efforts, with Iran, for example, embarking on educational reforms as a means to modernize. Concurrently, the concept of European constitutionalism began to gain traction as an alternative to the traditional governance models based on Sharia law. A new secular intelligentsia emerged, advocating for constitutional governance as a pathway to align with the industrialized world. the Ottoman Empire became a hotbed for such reformist thoughts, with the so-called Young Turks, a group of reform-minded individuals, predominantly from the younger generation, pushing for change and often finding themselves at odds with the entrenched religious leadership. These tensions underscored the deep divisions between advocates of modernization and the proponents of traditional Islamic governance. As the 20th century dawned, nationalism began to take root as a powerful ideal within the remnants of the Ottoman Empire. The establishment of Turkey as a nation-state under Mustafa Kemal Atatürk in 1923 marked a defining moment in this shift. Atatürk's vision of a secular nationalist Turkey, with its own national language and a new secular constitution, signaled the end of the traditional caliphate. This profound transformation underscored the complex interplay between preserving Islamic identity and embracing the currents of change inspired by European ideals. In sum, the Islamic world of the 19th century found itself at a crossroads, navigating the turbulent waters of industry, constitutionalism, and nationalism. These revolutionary ideals, originating from Europe, catalyzed profound changes in society, governance, and culture, heralding a new era in the history of the Islamic world. Part 9. The Roots of Resentment, Navigating Post-War Politics in the Islamic World. As the echoes of World War II faded, the world map was redrawn, leaving deep scars and festering wounds in its wake, especially in the Islamic world. Central to this period of upheaval were two pivotal developments: the establishment of the State of Israel and a controversial coup in Iran, each playing a critical role in fostering resentment against Israelis and Americans among Muslim populations. The end of World War II marked a significant turning point for Jewish communities devastated by the Holocaust. Seeking refuge and a place to rebuild, a large number of European Jews set their sights on Palestine, bolstered by the Zionist movement's efforts to establish a Jewish homeland. With the war's horrors fresh in mind, Western powers viewed the creation of Israel as a moral imperative, facilitating increased Jewish immigration to the region. However, this influx of Jewish settlers in Palestine was perceived quite differently by the Arab inhabitants. To them, the land that had been their home for centuries was being claimed by outsiders who, rather than seeking mere refuge, were laying historical claims to the territory. This stark contrast in narratives, the Jews as Holocaust survivors seeking a safe haven, and the Arabs as indigenous people displaced by new settlers, sowed the seeds of deep-seated conflict. Questions arose within the Arab communities about why they should concede their land for atrocities committed by others, thereby fueling a resentment that would persist and evolve into accusations of anti-Semitism against Muslims. Parallel to the unfolding situation in Palestine was a seismic event in Iran that would critically shape perceptions of America in the Islamic world. In 1951, Iran made a bold move towards sovereignty by electing Mohammad Mossadegh, a prime minister intent on nationalizing the country's oil industry. From the perspective of the United States, embroiled in the burgeoning Cold War, this action bore the mark of communism and threatened the flow of oil, a vital resource. This led to the United States' support of a coup in 1953, ousting Mossadegh in favor of reinforcing the monarchical rule of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. Prior to this intervention, many Muslims, particularly those with secular and modernist views, had regarded the United States and its values with admiration. However, the American-backed coup not only upended Iran's democratic aspirations but also ignited a widespread disillusionment with American policies, laying a foundation for enduring anti-American sentiments. These tumultuous post-war years, marked by the establishment of Israel and the intervention in Iran, significantly influenced the political and social landscape of the Islamic world. They catalyzed a deep-seated resentment that transcended generations, shaping the complex dynamics of Middle Eastern politics and altering perceptions of the West among Muslim populations for decades to come. Final summary. Nestled between the ancient civilizations of China and the West lies a realm rich in history and cultural heritage, the Islamic world. Its story begins in the sands of Arabia, where, amidst the remnants of bygone empires, a new faith arose. Islam, with its profound teachings and universal message, quickly spread beyond the Arabian Peninsula, weaving a complex tapestry of societies, cultures, and empires that would leave an indelible mark on human history. Before the rise of the Western world, the Islamic civilization flourished, its influence extending across continents. From the bustling markets of Baghdad to the splendid courts of Al-Andalus, the Islamic world was a beacon of knowledge, art, and science, pioneering advancements that would shape the course of history. The intellectual pursuits in philosophy, mathematics, and medicine under the banners of the Umayyads, Abbasids, and Ottomans showcased the vibrant culture that thrived within these empires. However, the ascent of Europe heralded a turning point. The dawn of the Industrial Revolution and the spread of European ideals such as constitutionalism and nationalism began to challenge the very fabric of Islamic societies. The establishment of colonial empires and the political maneuverings in regions such as Palestine and Iran introduced new conflicts and tensions, reshaping the landscape of the Middle East and the broader Islamic world. As the 20th century unfolded, the remnants of the Ottoman Empire gave way to new nation-states, each grappling with the legacy of colonialism and the quest for identity in a rapidly changing world. The establishment of Israel and interventions in countries like Iran sowed seeds of resentment that would grow into complex geopolitical challenges, leaving a lasting impact on the relationship between the Islamic world and the West. Through times of glory and periods of struggle, the Islamic world has remained a vital part of our global heritage, a testament to the resilience of its people and the enduring legacy of its cultural and intellectual achievements. Its history, interwoven with that of the West and the East, reminds us of the interconnectedness of our shared human story and the importance of understanding the multifaceted narratives that shape our world. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.